Okay, so today we are going to go over fractions and decimals and how to go from fractions to decimals and to go from decimals to fractions. Okay, so like we talked about a bit earlier, we all know what a fraction looks like.
Yes.
So if I put this up here, you guys would call this a fraction. Okay, so fractions, and like we talked about before, a numerator is what goes on top. Okay, and that's just the number that we use on top. Okay. Whenever we do fractions, this number is always going to be smaller than the bottom number. Okay. You'll never have this number be bigger than the small number. Okay. The bottom one is the denominator. So numerator.
So is it how many's in the row?
Yeah, so
Is the
whenever we
bottom
use fractions, we use fractions because we want to talk about how many pieces of something you're using. Okay, so this will always tell you the number of pieces you have, and this will tell you how many pieces you're using.
Oh, so
Okay.
like, let's say you did that, you would draw how many rows it says, and then draw how many boxes it says.
Yes. So let's say if I was talking about like a chocolate bar. Let's say I take a chocolate bar. I'm going to break it into 10 pieces. So I'm going to make a chocolate bar. I'm going to break it into 10 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this chocolate bar has 10 pieces. Now let's say something like I gave my friend 3 pieces. So if you gave somebody 3 pieces,
Cross
you
those
cross
three
them
out.
out because you don't have them anymore because you gave them away. Okay.
Oh, so like it's minus this kind of.
In a way, yes.
If there's 3 and you're gonna put shaded.
Yeah, so I'm taking 3 pieces and I shade them out because that's what I'm using. Same thing, or yeah. So, and we'll go into more. I just wanted to show you when you see a fraction, this is the picture that people mean when they use those kind of fractions. When we work our fractions, we're gonna use a lot more pictures too. Yes, we will practice. And we're going to use examples. Okay, so on your piece of paper, right at the top, you're going to copy everything I do so that way we can follow together.
On the top.
Okay? Yes. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a nice rectangle. Make it relatively skinny and then just at the top. Okay, you got that, Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make sure you make this right there at the top. Okay, and then you're going to do your best you can. We're going to break this into 10 pieces. Okay, so the way to do that is 9. You got to make 9 lines.
And then it'll make 10.
Yes, because that last line with the last line makes that 10 piece. So try your best to put 9 lines. When you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what you should have. And they don't gotta be like perfect, and they don't gotta, just do it the best you can.
So we're gonna stop at 10?
So you're gonna make 9 lines. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So make 2 more lines.
What if we made too many? Just erase it?
Yeah, just erase the end point.
There
you go. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just make it the best you can.
It's just bad.
Even mine doesn't look that perfect. Obviously, if you make something on a computer, it comes off way more perfect. But sometimes when you're drawing, it doesn't happen that way. Okay, so like this one, I broke it in 10 pieces, except this one is going to be different. Okay, because this one is actually going to represent 100 pieces. Do we all remember how to count by tens?
Yes. 10,
10,
20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So I put it on the bottom?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're going to put your tens. Your 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay. Fix it.
There. Wait a second. Oh, that's why.
10, 20, you missed 30. 40, so 10, 20, 30, yes.
I saw that.
Because the reason I can make it 10 pieces and still get 100, Johnson, how many 10s are in 100? How many 10s are in 100? Pieces will tell you how many.
Count the box.
Grayson, can you help? How many 10s are in 100?
10.
10. There are 10 10s in 100. Okay? So that's why we can break this into 10 pieces and still get 100. Okay?
This is a good way to. So you know how you have one right down here? You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you don't have to count, you can just go 10.
Yes. And this will be another way to help us get a fraction. Yes. Yeah, so I'm getting ready. So if you guys want to, you can make this little line, because this is going to be my fraction. Okay. So now that I have a bar, it has 100 pieces, and I have each piece broken up into 10s, I'm going to take just one piece.
Okay, so squiggle out one.
So yeah, shade in one.
You get shaded. Like color.
You can shade it in, scribble it in, just showing that you took the one piece. Okay. So I'm going to use my 10s that I have under here to tell me what number I'm going to put down in my denominator. So what number will I put in my denominator? Annabelle. 10. I'm going to put 10 down here because that's the piece that I'm using. Okay. Allison, can you tell me what you think is going to go up here? 1, because how many pieces did I use? I used 1. So if I took this, made it into a fraction, my fraction would say 1/10. Okay, so when you're working with fractions, you got to add these THs. Yes, they're called tenths, 100ths, thousandths. They kind of add that TH. For me, it's a little bit hard, I know, but when you guys get better at it, you'll be able to say it more and more. Tenth is always the easiest one because that one ends with N. Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to change it into a decimal. Okay. So when I look at this piece, this is all one whole piece, right?
Yes.
So that would be the number 1, right? If I use this whole thing, that would be 1. Okay. Since I'm using just a piece of it, is it going to be a whole number or is it going to be a smaller number?
Smaller
It's going to be a way smaller number. So you guys can cross out the 1. That's why when you see decimals, you see a 0, and then you see the decimal. Okay, because this is 1, but when you're just using pieces, they get smaller, and that's why we use decimals. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to show you guys a magic trick.
Ooh.
Each decimal has a place. Okay. This is always going to be your whole number. Okay. These are going to be your small parts, like your tenths, your hundredths. You can, or if you just want to put TH and then TH. That way you're not spelling the whole thing. I'll even put TH for the last one too. Yes. Really hard. Yeah. So this, if you can remember this, you will always know what part of the decimal we're talking about. So if a number is right here, it's the tenths. If a number is right here, it's the hundredths. And if the number is right here, it's in the thousandths. Okay. What number do I have down here again?
10.
10. So where am I going to put my number?
The first one.
The first one. Why the first one, Grace?
Because it says 10.
Because it's in my tens. I have a 10. So I'm going to put that in my tens. I get to put what number?
The 1.
1. So 1/10 in a decimal is going to be 0.1. So 1/10 equals 0.1. Okay. Why do you think I would want a decimal sometimes?
Because so you can get the answer. So if you need the answer.
That's part of it. Part of it. Part of it. Let's say I were to throw this at you. You don't have to draw. You don't have to write this down. I just want you to see this. Let's say if I did. I told you add those. You think that would be easy or hard?
Hard.
Hard, right? What if I did it like this?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy.
Easier because you see whole numbers, right? You don't get scared by fractions.
It's like
If we can't do it,
3.
yes.
8, 9, 10, 11.
11. So I would have to still put my 0.
Point
I would get 0.11. So it's so much easier when you look at it like this, right?
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes you want to take fractions and change them into decimals, so it makes it easier for us to do the math and get the answer sometimes.
Because like the first one you put up there, it's hard.
Mm-hmm. When you look at it, it just kind of scares you. It's too many numbers. Sometimes it freaks you out.
I know, yeah.
So change it into a decimal, you get one number each, and then you do normal math. Okay, so yes, that's why we do that. Okay, we're going to do one more example, and then we're going to start working on our worksheet. And we're going to knock those out.
Wait, are we allowed to use draw stuff like
This paper?
Yeah.
Yes, this is your.
this one?
Yes, so that's our free scratch here. Now we're going to work on taking a decimal and changing it into a fraction. Okay. Let's say I'm going to erase this too.
Do we erase that?
No, you guys can keep it on yours. Yeah. You guys can make like a squiggly line or just a straight line under, so that way you know we're on the next part. Next part, like I said, as long as we remember those secret things I just showed you. As long as we remember these, changing it to a fraction is actually going to be really easy. Yeah. If you guys want to put this at the top, this will help us because we're going to refer back to this. Just the top of this line. Now I'm going to take certain things and change them into fractions. Okay. Let's say I had 0.8. Okay. Tens, hundreds, thousands.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to write out the whole word again, so I just put the TH in the TH.
Well, I was asking if you wanted to put an H for
The hundreds?
no,
Thousands?
for the tens.
No, tens because just first sound in tens. So I just put the T. Okay. So as long as I remember this, changing decimals into fractions actually is just as easy too. Let's say I need a top number and bottom number. How many places do you see me use?
One.
One place, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to go up here and I look at one place, what number am I going to use?
10.
10. Yes. 10. This will tell me what to put at the bottom. So you said 10. I'm going to put a 10. And then this number, remember, tells me what goes up here. So Allison, what number goes up here?
1. Not 8.
8. And so 0.8 into a fraction is 8 tenths. Okay, let's say I have a bigger number, like 0.36. Yes, you can write it. We're just going to do another example. Johnson. How many times did I jump?
100.
How many? Yes, but how many times did I jump?
2.
2 times. So I'm going to go over here. Johnson, are we looking?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2. So I use the 100. So what's going to go down here, Johnson?
10.
Yeah. If you tell me 100, I'm going to put 100 down here. And then Grayson, what do I put on top?
36.
36. So my fraction is 36 100ths. Okay.
Oh, that's a
Pretty bad. Okay. But changing, as long as you have this, changing decimals into fractions, super easy. Okay.
super easy.
So now we are going to work on our paper.
Yay!
Okay, so I have the paper right in front of you, and we're going to do all of them together.
Can we keep it? Name.
Yeah, solely for you guys. Okay, so you put your name on our very first one.
Ooh.
And I'm going to ask one at a time, and we're going to work through each one because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 of you are going to have 2 to answer, and 1 of you is just going to have 1. Okay. So Johnson, we're going to work with the first one. You and me. Okay. How many times did I hop?
2.
You guys are just following along.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll ask one at a time. Yes,
Okay,
taking
so
turns.
just follow him.
Just follow him. We're all answering the first one together. But I'm going to work with Johnson, and then work with you, and work with you, and work with you. So 2 times. So what number am I going to put at the bottom? Remember, this is tenths. This is
100.
hundreds. So what am I going to put?
100.
100. And what's going to go on top?
51.
51. So your first answer, if you were to change 0.51 into a fraction, 51 100ths. Yes. Yes. We always put that line. That line just lets us know that we're taking this many pieces out of this many. Okay, Grayson, we are doing number 2. Now this one we didn't fully talk about, but it's super easy when you just move it. If I have a whole number, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put that whole number on this side. And then I make my fraction. Okay, now, Mr. Grayson, what's going to be my denominator?
100.
100. Why is it 100?
Because there's 2.
I jump 2 times, tenths and then hundreds. What's my top number?
44.
44.
Easy.
Yep, so you have your whole number, which is 6, and then you have your fraction, 44 100ths.
Oh, so this is just the ones? Just the ones right here?
Yes. And like I said, those are super easy because all you do is just move them over. Those don't do anything fancy. Those don't change. You just take them and you move it. Okay, next one, Annabelle.
This one's gonna be easy.
1.8. So, remember, what am I going to do with my whole number, Annabelle?
Yeah, 2. Put it. Oh, yeah, 2.
Just move it, right?
Yeah, move it.
Yeah, so if it's a whole number, I just move it. Then I make my fraction. Okay? So, Annabelle, what's going to be my bottom number? Why 10?
Because you went up 4.
Because I only jumped 1 time, right? And then these are my tenths. So, yep. And goes at the bottom. What goes on top?
8.
Annabelle, you 8. Yes. So my fraction is 1 8/10.
Sorry.
Okay. Just make sure we're paying attention, Johnson. Allison, you and me, number 4. 2.7.
Wait.
2.7. Okay, so remember, Allison, what do I do with my whole number? Put it this side, right?
Yeah.
So I just move it, right? Yeah. Put that. Then I put my fraction. Allison, what's going to be my denominator? What am I going to put at the bottom? Huh? Look at how many times I've jumped. If I jump 1 time, what place is this? What? There. back to what you wrote on your paper, your other paper. You have your tens, your hundreds, and your thousands. So if it only jumps one time, tens. So I'm going to put a 10. Because look, how many times did you jump? How many times did you jump? One time. You only jump one time. So if you jump one time, you're in the tens. Okay, now what number am I going to put on top for my numerator? 7. So my fraction is 2 and 7/10. Alright. Like I said, as long as you remember this will always help you and tell you what goes on the bottom.
Oh, don't worry. I don't need that.
Okay, Johnson. Back to you again. 5.59. Okay, so what do I do with my whole number, Johnson?
1.
What do I do with it then?
5.
5. What do I do with that 5?
5. 1.
I move it, right?
Yeah.
So this is my whole number. I'm just going to move it over here.
Yeah.
5. Then I make my line. Okay?
But it's okay to don't put a 5.
No, you want to put the 5 because it's a whole number. See, these have 0. If it's 0, we don't put 0. Okay, but if there's a whole number, we put the whole number. Okay. Johnson, what's going to be my bottom number over here?
100.
How do we know 100?
Because there's 1, 2.
Yeah, 2 times tens and hundreds. And I put on top?
59.
59. So my answer would be 5 and 59 100ths. Mr. Grayson.
9.
9.3. Okay. What do I do with my whole number?
Put the 9 where the equal is.
Move it over, and then
There's
make
a
my
10.
fraction. The 10 because I move one time.
Then put the 3.
And the 3.
We're already done.
Answer is 9 and 3/10. Like, once you get the hang of it,
Because I also smell. I solved it already. I solved it at why Johnson was doing his.
Okay, and Annabelle, very last one. 5.2.
So you put the 2 in the equal. Oh, no.
Go a little fast.
You put, okay.
What's your whole number?
5.
5 is your whole number.
And then now you jump 1.
That
and
means
you down 10. And then you put the 2 on top and down with 2
5
10.
and 2 tenths. Okay, 5 and 2 tenths. Okay. So how hard was changing from decimals to fractions?
No.
Was it hard, Johnson?
No.
Yeah,
It was
was it
easy.
hard?
It was
Was it hard?
not that hard.
Was it hard? Yeah, as long as you remember these little tricks that you always learn when you do math, changing from one thing to another will be super easy. Yes, Johnson.
And what's the smell?
I don't know what smell we're talking about, Johnson. Make sure you pay attention. Okay, we're talking about math right now.
Wait, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, so that is the end of the lesson.
So now what?
So now we're going to return back to class because we are out of time. Okay, but I want to thank all you guys for working very hard. Like I said, you guys can keep these.
But where'd you put a star?
I just put a star, yes. If you really want to know.
A plus. A plus. I want no. A plus. Alright, I'm gonna take this problem too.
If you want,